I don't know about you, but I love a good raised bed. It keeps my not quite old bones from aching quite so much at night. Seriously, I'd garden no matter how much the pain was, but every little bit helps, right? Today I'm going all in on raised beds made from bricks or concrete blocks. I have 3 designs for you. One for the absolute beginner, one that's middle of the road, and one that you build if you want it to outlast both you and your grandkids. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to know which style fits your space, your budget, and your skill level. Hi, I'm Carol from Almost 2 Acres. Let's go.
Before we start stacking anything, let's talk about why you'd even want to use bricks or concrete blocks in the first place, because there are some really legit reasons and also a couple of things worth knowing before you decide. The good stuff first. The biggest thing, these materials do not rot. Wood, and I love a good cedar bed, don't get me wrong, but wood has a lifespan. Bricks and concrete blocks, they are basically just going to sit there looking the same for decades. They're also incredibly stable and heavy, which means wind isn't going to blow your bed walls over. And if you go with a dry stack style, which we'll get to, you can actually reconfigure or move them later, so it's not as permanent as it looks. Now, a few things to keep in mind. First, weight. These materials are heavy, so make sure your base is reasonably level and compacted before you start. You don't want to build on soft, squishy ground and have your bed start to shift over time. Second, heat. Bricks and concrete do absorb heat, which is actually amazing for heat-loving crops like tomatoes and peppers. But in really hot climates, you'll want to make sure you've got good soil depth and you're mulching so your roots don't cook. It's an easy fix, just something to be aware of. Third, let's talk about the safety of old cinder blocks. There's been a lot of conversation online about whether concrete blocks are safe for edible gardens. Current guidance from most university extensions say that modern standard concrete blocks are generally fine for raised beds, but you do want to avoid using mystery industrial blocks or anything that's visibly crumbling or has unknown origins. To be extra cautious, you can keep your edible plants a few inches away from the walls and make sure you're filling with a really nice, rich organic soil mix. A quick safety note here. When you're building these, please wear gloves. Concrete block edges are not kind to hands. Sturdy closed-toe shoes are a must. Lift with your legs, not your back. These things are heavy, and that's how injuries happen. And if you're going more than 2 or 3 blocks high without mortar, you'll want rebar or mortar for stability. We'll cover that. I built 10 raised beds from concrete a few years ago, hundreds of blocks, pain in the shoulders and knees I still have today. I would definitely hire this part out if I had more money than needed for this project. Just saying. Okay, safety PSA over. Let's plan these beds. Before you buy a single block, let's think through the basics, because a little planning up front saves a lot of frustration. Bed width. This is the same rule whether you're building with wood, brick, or blocks. Keep it to about 3 to 4 feet wide. That's the magic number that lets you reach the center of the bed from either side without stepping in. You'd be surprised how many people skip this step and then can't reach their tomatoes. Don't be that person. Height. Concrete blocks give you really natural height options. One course of standard 8x8x16 blocks gets you to about 8 inches, perfectly fine for shallow-rooted crops like salad greens and herbs. 2 courses get you 16 inches, which is a great all-purpose height. 3 courses brings you up to 24 inches, which makes deep-rooted veggies sigh with happiness, but at that height you're going to want rebar or mortar for stability. For the layout, rectangles and squares are your best friends here because the block math is simple. A classic 4x8 foot bed works beautifully with standard 16-inch blocks. Fill your beds with soil the same way you would any raised bed. I like to start from the bottom with some rough organic material, wood chips, straw, whatever you've got. And then transition up to a rich compost-forward mix at the top. This gives you better drainage, good biology in the soil, and it also saves you money because you're not filling the whole depth with premium mix. Make sure you watch my raised bed soil video from this same 7-video series. I'll link it in the description. Okay, now 3 designs. Let's do this. Design number 1 is where I'd send literally anyone who is new to this and just wants to get started. No mortar, no special tools, no masonry skills required. This is a dry stack concrete block bed, the kind I built in an afternoon. And here's how it works. You're just stacking standard 8 by 8 by 16 concrete blocks in a rectangle. That's it. The blocks are heavy enough to hold themselves in place, and if you ever want to move or reconfigure, you just pick them up and do it. For a 4 by 8 foot bed, you're looking at roughly 24 to 28 blocks, depending on your exact dimensions and whether you do 1 or 2 courses. Here's a list of what you'll need. Standard concrete blocks, 8 by 8 by 16, a tape measure and some stakes and string, a level, a rubber mallet, and optionally, cardboard or landscape fabric for the bottom and some short pieces of rebar for extra stability. Here's how you build it. Start by marking out your rectangle with stakes and string, and actually take the time to get this right. I did not, and still hit my shins when walking around the beds. Scrape off the grass or weeds in that area and lightly compact the soil where your blocks are going to sit. You're just creating a stable, levelish surface. Then start in a corner. Lay your first block flat with the holes facing up. This is important, and we'll come back to why in a second. Work your way around the rectangle using your rubber mallet to tap each block level with its neighbor. Check to make sure it is level as you go. Seriously, do this at the first course because if your foundation is off, every course above it is going to be more and more off. If you want to go 2 courses high, stack your second layer with the joints staggered, kind of like how bricks are laid, where the seam of the top block sits over the middle of the block below it. This gives you a lot more stability, and if you want extra security at the corners or in the ground, drive a piece of rebar down through the holes. Fill the bottom with cardboard or fabric if you're battling weeds, then fill with your soil mix. Now, here's the fun part. Those holes facing up on the top course, plant herbs in them. Seriously, basil, thyme, chives, oregano, they love the drainage and the extra warmth from the concrete. I have even had herbs come back the next year that are not totally hardy in Zone 4. This is your let me try it and see if I love it bed. Low investment, high reward. Design number 2 is where things get a little more polished. This is what you might call the I'm committing to this garden, but I want it to look good option. It uses special concrete planter blocks, sometimes called corner blocks or post blocks, combined with 2 by 6 lumber rails that slot right into them. The result looks really clean and finished. It's comfortable enough to actually sit on while you're working, and it's still modular enough to take apart if you need to. For a 4 by 8 foot bed, you'll need the following: 8 to 12 concrete planter blocks. These are specifically designed to receive 2 by lumber, so make sure you're buying the right kind. Ask someone at the hardware store if you're not sure. Here's how to build it. Mark your rectangle, then at each corner dig down just 3 to 5 inches and set your first planter block on compacted soil. The key here is getting all 4 corner blocks in the same level plane. Take your time on this step because it sets up everything else. Stack 1 or 2 more planter blocks on each corner to reach your desired height, checking for plumb and level as you go. Then cut your 2 by 6 boards to fit between the blocks and drop them into the slots to form the walls. If the board sits a little high, you can dig a shallow trench under it to drop it down to the right height. Once your walls are in, lay 2 by 6 boards flat across the top of the blocks to create your top rail. This is what makes the whole thing feel finished, and also what makes it comfortable to sit on while you're planting or weeding, or just hanging out in your garden enjoying the butterflies and plants. Screw the top rails down into the wall boards every 12 inches or so, and you're done structurally. Now fill in with your soil mix and plant. Done. This one has a slightly higher price tag than Design 1, but the finished look is really impressive, and that sitting rail is really helpful to an older gardener, or even if you just spend a lot of time in your permaculture garden. Design number 3 is for the person who is saying, I have found my forever home and I want a raised bed that matches that energy. This is the mortared brick. or mortared concrete block, permanently built, showcase quality raised bed. This is more work. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You're pouring a small footing, you're mixing mortar, you're learning to lay brick. But the result is stunning. This is the kind of raised bed that makes your garden look intentional and established. And if you've got existing brick or stone elements in your yard, this ties everything together beautifully. Here's what you'll need: bricks or twin wall concrete blocks, bagged concrete mix for your footing, mortar mix, gravel, a level, a trowel, and a mortar bag for finishing joints. And here's how it comes together. Step 1, the footing. Mark your bed outline, then dig a trench a little wider than your wall thickness and about 4 to 6 inches deep. Add a thin layer of compacted gravel, then pour your concrete to create a level footing. And then, the part you don't want to do, let it cure. Don't rush this. A solid footing is what makes this bed truly permanent and stable. Step 2, first course. Snap a chalk line or mark guidelines on your footing, then start laying your bricks. You'll butter each brick with mortar on the bottom and one end before setting it, and you check level and alignment constantly. I do mean constantly. This is where you learn why masons look calm. It's because they've developed the patience of someone who checks level 400 times. Step 3, build up. Continue laying courses with staggered joints, using a mortar bag to fill and finish the joints as you go. Smooth with a tool when they're just starting to firm up. Not too wet, not too dry. Optionally, finish with a bullnose brick or smooth cap course on the top. This gives you a comfortable finished edge to lean on, and it just looks really polished. Backfill the outside of the walls with soil or gravel for stability. Fill the inside with your raised bed mix and mulch the top. This bed is your anchor piece. It's more cost, more skill, more time, but it is genuinely a beautiful permaculture feature, and it will be there for the long haul. There they are, 3 designs, 3 very different situations, from super easy to super long lasting. You choose your style.
That's it, the 7th and final video in my raised bed starter series. But that's not it though, because soon I'll be reviewing the raised beds I'm buying as well as the ones I'm building. First, we have my Zone 4 seed starting series coming up next. Stay tuned.